So I came across this article on Business Insider, and it was talking about how the average job applicant said they won't accept anything paying less than about $80,000 a year, right? And you can't you can't blame that people for doing that, right? Because obviously with inflation, everything costs more. It only makes sense to ask for more money where you work. You can see with like all these strikes with UPS, writers strike, the actors, like everybody's striking that, wanting more money because just things cost more, housing, food, gas, everything just costs more. So it only makes sense for people to just, ask for more, and you can't be mad at that, right? So, and as long as you're not afraid to ask, then, the worst that you can say is no, right? And of course, this makes sense only if you can add value to your job, right? Because I know a lot of people have this sense where they say they deserve a salary or they deserve to make X amount of dollars, when in reality it's you deserve what you can get, right? You deserve based on the type of value you can bring to that company, right? If you're gonna make a company X amount of dollars, then you can go in there and negotiate, saying, okay, I bring this amount of money to your company, I deserve X, Y, Z, right? But a lot of people have this tendency to say, I need more money because things are expensive. Like, that's not how the world works. That's not how business works. Like, you have to add some type of value. And I know a lot of people don't understand that because a lot of people obviously don't own a business. They're used to being an employee, so it's just like they're thinking for themselves. They're like, all right, things cost more, so I need this amount of money. But you got to think about the owner side. They're like, I have a budget. There's a budget, and I know a lot of people think owners are greedy, and in a lot of cases that's true, but you got to understand, like, there's a budget, right? Everyone has a budget, and they say, all right, I allocate this amount of money to labor, and if you're someone that's bringing value to your company, then you have a right to demand a certain amount of money, right? And you see a lot of people doing that right now, and you have, like I said, this article is saying that no one's expecting, they won't accept a role that's paying less than $80,000 a year, even though the median average salary in the United States is like 50, almost $60,000 a year. So to say they want to expect that much money, I think most people obviously won't get that. But hey, it doesn't hurt to ask. So it's just interesting to see, like, a lot of people that are saying that they won't accept a role if it's paying less than a certain amount. And if you can get it, then certainly ask. Obviously, majority of people won't get that unless they bring some type of value to that company. But like I said, it doesn't hurt to ask. So let's get to this article, see what they're saying. So it says, all right, so hiring managers beware. It may cost more than ever to get a candidate to accept a position. Even though the labor market has slowed, the lowest salary the average U.S. worker says they need to accept a new job has reached record highs, according to New York's Fed. The result, which reflects the response of 1,000 people nationwide, showed that the average reservation wage, the lowest wage at which someone would accept a new job, was $78,645 as of July. That's an almost $6,000 jump from the average reservation wage reported in July 2022. It's also the highest reservation wage that the survey has reported since the launching in 2014. The survey posed approximately 1,000 people every 4 months on questions related to their current or most recent job. So it says demand for workers, whether new ones or existing ones, remains high, and job seekers are still in the driver's seat. Nick Bunker, economic research, Indeed hiring, whatever. So you see, basically saying that job seekers are still in because of the labor shortage. Job seekers have the leverage, right? And because of there's such a labor shortage, there's such a demand for labor. If you're someone that can go in there and say, hey, you know what, you need workers, I can demand XYZ dollars, then you more than likely will get it. But obviously people are thinking there's going to be there seems to be a shift because obviously fears of recession, a lot of companies are laying people off. So they're seeing that dynamic shift. There's still a shortage in labor. So obviously if you're someone that's looking for a job, you probably still have the advantage. But how long will that last? I mean, that's still something where people are waiting for. But as of now, I think a lot of people are making that assumption that workers have the advantage. So it says the increase could reflect perceptions of higher bargaining power and job satisfaction, or the need to keep up with rising living costs, Kozer told. Also, you have seen increases in job satisfaction since last July. Really, like, increase in job satisfaction. Yeah, I couldn't tell because a lot of people seem to not want to work. I don't know too many people that are happy with where they work. So to say that they see increase in job satisfaction, I'm not sure how much I believe that, but whatever. It says particularly for non-wage benefits and promotion opportunities, which could cause workers to demand more compensation to leave their job. Of course, the reservation wage refers to what workers say their minimum acceptable salary is, and in practice, they may take a job job with a lower wage. Of course, like, I mean, if you ask people like what would be the minimum, they're gonna throw out a number, but in actuality, they're gonna probably receive something lower than that. Which makes sense. Now, so people should take that type of energy and say, when it comes to, if they feel like they deserve this amount of money, people should go into their boss's office and say, okay, I want to increase in salary. But I think a lot of people don't do that, which is why a lot of people feel like they're underpaid. A lot of people have this fear of negotiating or going in there and demanding a raise, which is probably like a lot of people do that, have that tendency. So that could be another reason why a lot of people tend to get the wages that they feel they deserve. So, in fact, the survey found that the average full-time offer salary that workers have received over the past 4 months is $69,475. It's pretty high. Still, that's a 14% increase from the average full-time offer salary workers received last July. Meanwhile, the consumer price index climbed 3.2% between July 2022 and 2023, meaning new offers appear to be outpacing inflation. Now, I'm not sure how much I believe that either, but that's Business Insider. So it said the survey found that satisfaction with wages has improved 3% since last year, while satisfaction with promotion opportunities increased by 4% over that time. The year-over-year increases were most pronounced among respondents with household incomes under $60,000. Yolanda, a career coach who works with workplace sites like The Muse, said that workers' threshold for switching jobs might be higher because they are less interested in making lateral moves. Before, people were willing to make a lateral move for the same amount of money, she told us that. But between the spate of companies laying off workers over the past year and companies racing to recover the pandemic losses, she observed that people have become busier than ever in their current roles and less likely to job hop. They realize that the work is going to be challenging regardless of where they want to be, so they might be compensated for it. And that's what a lot of people are doing. Like, the best way for a lot of people when it comes to like trying to make more money is like, instead of trying to get more money, this is what people were doing like maybe 2021, 22. Instead of like asking for a raise within your job, what would you do is the best way would be to find another job and get an increase that way. So you saw a lot of people jumping from job to job just so they can get that increase in pay. Obviously, people are doing that less now because there's probably less jobs available to do that with. But that's one way a lot of people are doing it. So this is an interesting thing to say that people are looking for this amount of money. So, but like I said, if you think you can get it, like, ask. If you feel like you bringing certain value to your company, then you should ask. Like, you should ask for an increase, and you should prove that you're bringing that value. Because I think for a lot of people, like I said, they feel like they deserve a certain salary when they're not. Then they can't really quantify how much value they're bringing in, and you're sympathetic to people, right? You understand that things are costing more. People are living paycheck to paycheck, so people have this tendency, like, emotion, to be like, I deserve this amount of money because I need to survive. I need to live. So they put the onus on the employer to be like, you need to give me amount of money because I need to survive. I need to live. But that's just not the way the world works, right? That's just not how business works. That's just not how any of this works. You have to bring if you can bring a certain level of value to your company, to your job, then you can prove that, then you'll get a certain you'll be entitled to a certain level of compensation. So so let me know what your thoughts are. Like, how do you feel about the fact that $80,000 is the minimum that a lot of people are looking for, and is that even enough, right? I mean, you see all these articles where, like, you need a certain amount just to survive in certain states. So, I guess that's just the average. So, let me know what your thoughts are. If you got any comments or questions, make sure to leave it down below. Hit the like button and share. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe. All right, so you guys take care and have a good one. Later.